I remember wandering through dimly lit corridors of an exclusive coastal resort, salty breezes wrapping around me like secret whispers. My pulse throbbed as anticipation thickened, each footstep echoing faint promises I knew I shouldn't entertain. Coral-painted lanterns swung lazily above polished wooden floors, scattering blush-toned reflections over silk drapes hiding unseen pleasures. I had come seeking solitude after weeks of stifling routine, but temptation often arrives disguised as comfort. She appeared near the lounge doorway, emerald dress hugging her curves like waves clasping the shore. Her glance pierced through murmurs of conversation, fastening onto mine with a magnetic force pulling reason away from my grasp. Fingers brushed briefly when she offered a drink, and that subtle contact sent ripples across my skin stronger than any ocean tide outside. We spoke about dreams, deserted beaches, and stolen hours under moonlit skies, every syllable turning into a thread binding us closer. Her laughter dripped with honeyed defiance, daring me to cross invisible boundaries. I noticed the absence of a wedding ring only after leaning in to catch the scent of jasmine laced through her perfume. Her lips curved as though reading my intentions, and suddenly the lounge's dim glow became an intimate stage lit solely for us. Somewhere beyond those walls, reality continued its indifferent march, but inside this fragile bubble, morality weakened under the weight of desire. She invited me toward a private balcony, where ocean spray kissed our cheeks and shadows cloaked our movements. I knew there existed a line I shouldn't cross, yet every heartbeat urged me forward. Her voice trembled, not from fear, but from hunger matching my own. That moment marked the beginning of everything beautiful, dangerous, and impossible to undo. Balcony rail felt cool beneath my palms, moonlight pouring across her skin like molten silver over marble. Gentle gusts lifted strands of her dark hair, brushing my jaw when she leaned closer, voice softened until it became almost a sigh. Words slipped between us carrying promises too sharp for innocence. She tilted her head, revealing a diamond stud sparkling against her neck. I caught it flashing as her pulse quickened, reflected in my own erratic breathing. Fingers trailed upward, tracing an invisible path along her bare shoulder until they lingered beneath the delicate strap. That closeness crackled, electric currents darting through every nerve ending. Somewhere in the distance, music drifted from a nearby ballroom, low strings weaving with muted trumpets, each note adding rhythm to the sway of her hips. I couldn't remember when my restraint had last been this fragile. She whispered about secrecy, about the thrill of existing where rules dissolve, where dawn feels far enough to grant us everything without consequence. Our lips hovered millimeters apart, teasing, tasting the heat rising between us without yet claiming it fully. Her hand found my chest, pressing gently, then sliding downward, testing boundaries like a thief measuring locks before breaking them. I felt my resolve thinning, unraveling with every soft graze of her touch. Lightning flickered somewhere over the ocean, illuminating her eyes, brighter, bolder than before. She asked if I trusted her, though the way she asked made clear trust was not the currency being exchanged tonight. The air thickened, charged, as though the horizon itself waited for what would happen next. And then, without another word, she pulled me toward the French doors leading into her suite, shadows curling behind us like conspirators sealing an unspoken pact. Velvet curtains cascaded across the room, swallowing any trace of outside light. Fragrance of sandalwood coiled around me, mingling with faint candle smoke drifting lazily toward the ceiling. She moved deliberately, each motion carrying a promise wrapped in danger. The zipper on her dress descended like the opening of a forbidden door, revealing satin curves glistening beneath flickering amber glow. I stepped forward, unable to resist gravity she created. The bed waited, draped in crimson sheets that seemed to pulse under the dim shimmer. She guided my hands with confident urgency, mapping out territories uncharted, coaxing confessions from my skin with every graze. Heat radiated between us, burning away hesitation until only hunger remained. Her whispers curled inside my ear, painting vivid scenes of nights she had imagined long before we met. Every syllable sent shivers racing down my spine, drawing me deeper into her web. She traced my jawline with delicate fingertips, pulling me close enough to taste the faint sweetness of wine lingering on her mouth. Time unraveled into something fluid, measured only by heartbeats and shallow breath. My body responded instinctively, seeking her warmth, her approval, her surrender. We moved together as though choreographed by desire itself, ignoring the distant world entirely. But amidst that intoxication, I caught sight of a framed photograph on the dresser, her standing beside a tall man in a tailored suit, their smiles frozen in eternal bliss. My pulse faltered, a seed of realization planting itself in the center of my chest. She noticed my glance, paused only a moment, then pressed her lips harder against mine, as if erasing the thought before it could bloom. In that instant, I understood. Whatever we had ignited tonight carried consequences neither of us could escape. Sunlight pierced through half-drawn blinds, scattering fractured patterns across tangled sheet. My eyelids fought against the sudden brightness, awareness returning in fragmented bursts. Her side of the bed was empty, the faint echo of running water spilling from the adjoining bathroom. I sat up, muscles heavy from indulgence, when a sharp knock shattered the quiet. Before I could react, the door swung open. A broad-shouldered figure stepped inside, tailored jacket immaculate, eyes cold enough to freeze every reckless memory from the night before. He didn't speak immediately. His gaze swept the room, lingering on my discarded shirt, then on the indentation where she had been lying moments earlier. She emerged, robe hastily tied, complexion pale. Her voice cracked as she attempted explanations that fell apart under his unwavering stare. In that charged silence, truth hung thick, undeniable. He reached into his pocket, producing a small velvet box, its lid already open to reveal a diamond ring glinting accusingly in the light. I realized then, this wasn't discovery, it was an ambush. He had known, orchestrated the timing, waited for proof to present itself without question. My heartbeat pounded against my ribs, the weight of guilt pressing harder than any physical blow. Without raising his voice, he told her their vows meant nothing now. His eyes cut toward me, holding just long enough to deliver a message sharper than words. Then he turned, leaving the door wide open behind him, sunlight flooding in like judgment. She collapsed onto the mattress, head buried in trembling hands. I dressed quickly, each movement feeling like an admission. No apology could undo what had been set in motion. Stepping into the hallway, I carried the bitter certainty that lust had dismantled more than promises. It had destroyed the fragile illusion we thought we controlled.